This is A's Cast Live, your comprehensive look at the Athletics.
Swung on, drive to left field. Did he do it? He did! 4 home runs for Nick Kurtz! He is 6 for 6!
Swing and a drive, deep to left. The A's take the lead in grand fashion.
And 29 other MLB clubs.
Stretch of the pitch to Cal. Swing and a drive, deep to right field. There it is, number 60, the modern-day Bambino.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe from humidors to walk-off dingers.
That swung at a high, deep drive to right. Smith is back. He will not even watch it. And the A's win it on a walk-off by Nick Kurtz.
We have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to A's Cast Live. What is today? Is today Thursday?
Today is Thursday. We're already on Thursday.
Wow. Time is flying by. Chris Townsend alongside Cody Elias. I'm very excited about today's show. I've got all my previews. I got my Lindy's baseball preview. I've got my USA Today preview. Cover of the USA Today Sports Weekly Spring Training preview. Is LA ruining Major League Baseball? Oh, we got a lot to get into today. We got some really good guests coming on the program, especially one of our all-time favorites coming up here in about 10 minutes, Mike Ferrin from SiriusXM, the MLB channel, Channel 89. Also, Mr. WBC will be with us. He was just at A's camp. They're doing their preview. They're at A's camp. Was he with Ryan Spielborgs also of SiriusXM and the Colorado Rockies, and he does all the YouTube games?
Actually, he was with former A Ryan Healy was at our spring training camp on Tuesday.
Right, the former third baseman, the Oregon Duck.
Yeah, that's who it was Ryan Healy and Mike Ferrin at A's camp on Tuesday, the 24th.
All right, so we're going to have Ferrin coming up here in about 10 minutes. Who else are we going to play today?
We have Jack Perkins, who's on the mound today. You did a very good interview with him. A lot of it was on not just baseball, but the Indiana Hoosiers who won the national title.
Guys, you can't blame me, right? This kid is beaming, right? And it has nothing to do with baseball. Like, can you just imagine that where you grow up, school you go to, where did officially Jack Perkins grow up?
Let's find out, because they go to IU. Shout out Kurt Signetti in the Hoosiers.
Where did Perk?
Let's see what
not Jack Perkins the actor.
Jack Perkins baseball.
Jack Perkins, such a great Jack Perkins. Sounds like a cowboy.
He grew up he went to high school in Indiana.
Where in Indiana?
Kokomo.
Okay. Does anybody know where Kokomo, Indiana is? Of course you don't.
Is it near French Lick?
No, don't.
Kokomo Speedway's there. It's I don't. Is it what major city is it near?
All right. Anyway, so the last time I was
near Lafayette, kind of. This is where Purdue is, right?
Last time I was in Indiana, I was with Road Trip Mike at Notre Dame. You might have heard of South Bend, Indiana. But think about this. You grow up in the middle of nowhere in Indiana. No offense to anybody in Kokomo, Indiana, but you're in the middle. You're flyover country. You've had the worst record in Division I. We now FBS, but let's just Division I football ever. Indiana is part of these old, you got to realize the Midwest teams like Michigan, Minnesota, they've been playing football a long, long time, along with the Ivies. You're going way, way, way back. These are the teams that have the most games played ever. No, it's not the U. No, it's not Texas, nor is it the University of Spoiled Children. You call it USC. It's these Big Ten old school and the Northeast teams. They've been playing since the 1800s. And you've got the worst record ever, and nobody's ever cared about you. You've been getting your ass handed to you for well over 100 years. You've been getting drilled. And now your school, out of nowhere, when all of a sudden we can actually pay guys for real. This isn't envelopes. This isn't handlers. This isn't, hey, Reggie Bush, we're going to give your mom a house.
All right, you got to stop talking about it. I know you saw SMU last night, but stop throwing them under the bus.
Eric Dickerson was given everybody in the world. Like, if you ever saw I can't remember which documentary is on Eric Dickerson, but like Barry Switzer's coming to his, I mean, these kids were getting all this illegal money, but now it's legal. Now we can pay you. And now that we can pay people legally, you're going to tell me the team with the worst record in the history of college football wins the national championship? And you don't think Jack Perkins, who grew up in Indiana, he's an Indiana Hoosier, this isn't like one of the greatest things that ever happened to him in his life? He's beaming. I thought it was really, really cool. Like, that's not something I'm ever going to experience. I'm never going to wake up one day and San Jose State's winning the national championship.
They got a big game, first game of the year, week 0.
I mean, it's just think about it. You would when you think Indiana, you would always think Bob Knight, and Bob Knight, I believe, won 3 national championships.
Sounds right.
I mean, it's basketball. It's Larry Bird. It's Indiana. It's Pacers. It's Mr. Basketball. And now you're the king of the college football world. You're damn right. I asked Jack Perkins, and we were excited for him. Jack Perkins and I could have sat there for an hour and just talked college football. He was so excited. So Jack Perkins is on the pro. He's throwing today?
Yeah.
Who are we playing today?
The Rangers. I was going to – because we're going to have Ken Korach in for Johnny D. No Johnny D on the brow. It's Ken Korach and Chris Carey today.
We have the main Hall of Famer today.
And I wanted to play a game with Johnny. We'll have to save it. Texas Ranger or Texas Ranger baseball player. So was it Walker Texas Ranger like a Ranger, or Texas Ranger like
you're stealing my game.
Colby Lewis. Yeah, it would have changed a little bit.
Yeah, that's my old talk show game that I used to play.
I don't want to throw Johnny on the bus and go Texas Ranger or New York Ranger.
I kind of like it. Is this a Ranger? What kind of Ranger is it? Is it a real Ranger that arrests people, or is we used to have some wild topics, some that are
probably not radio friendly anymore.
When we first started this game, it was really, we were on so basically you take 2 different topics. Like, is this can't do some of the topics because this is more family friendly. Remember, I did a lot of morning zoo radio back in the day. So I have a little bit of that in me. It's a little bit of the entertainment flair. So it could be like, is this a baseball player or is this a movie star? We'll keep it very PG. So you give out a name and you have to guess this name. Is this a baseball player? But we did some pretty wild topics back then, and fans loved it. Full lines lit. People wanted to play the game. It was a certain it was a steakhouse. It started as a steakhouse or a certain type of bar. And the game was wild and a lot of fun. But that was back in my morning show zoo days. And we could get away with a lot more back then. It was borderline FCC was going to come after us.
So
do you remember that? Do you remember some of the topics we had on that?
Because I helped produce the show at night with you.
No, this was when we were KMBR. We started this.
Oh, I remember doing it when we were together at 95.7.
Yeah, then I brought it to 95.7 the game. But I mean, we were so on the line of FCC. I remember our program director was like, "You sure you guys want to do this?" But it was a hit. So then over the years, I tamed it down when you start talking about, porn stars and strippers. That kind of stuff. It got a little out of hand. But it's mornings, right? When you're doing so you're basically doing a takeoff of my old game that we've now tamed down.
Yeah, so Texas Ranger or Texas Ranger baseball player. Was it this guy or was it Michael Young?
All right, who else we got?
And then we're gonna play our interview with Colby Thomas, who we didn't get a chance to play the other day. So we'll play Jack Perkins. We'll have Mike Ferrin here in a minute. Ken Korach, and then Colby Thomas.
What's Mike Ferrin been doing? What do they just give these guys time off during the spring training? They're nowhere to be found. They're not on the air anymore. We can't even find. We're supposedly they did a preview of our show. Can't find it on the app. I'm paying this money for the app. I'm waiting for my Where's my preview, Mike Ferrin? I'm paying all this money to have Channel 89, you and Duke, and next thing you know, you guys are never on the air, and I can't get my preview.
Well, you got a lot of complaints this morning, don't you?
Oh, you have no idea.
Cody stealing your bits, cleaning them up.
Yeah, we've
You're
had to
upset
clean
about.
some.
I'm checking
Ace
the app
Cast,
right now.
as Ace Cast, we've had to clean things up. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you?
So yesterday was our first day off, and it's like
Must be nice.
I got released back into the wild, right? Because we've been so into our baseball world that you kind of lose sight of how regular people and fans how they're living. So yesterday was golf, and then last night I was at Cal SMU, some ACC basketball. It is amazing how many of just these guys who are just general sports fans are fascinated by ABS, and they have a ton of questions. I was pounded with ABS questions yesterday by just regular guys. Some guys like didn't really even know spring training games were going on. They'll get into baseball once the season starts, but this is how the general public is. Like, we live in our bubble world, our baseball world, where we think everything matters. But you go back into the real world, and people are like, "Oh, there's games going on," and then they're like fascinated by ABS. Have you encountered that recently?
No, I haven't talked to anybody about it yet. Kind of outside the baseball world. But I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, I think it's a really cool setup for it, right? It's not all that dissimilar to what they've had in tennis for gosh, how long now, right? It's the same system as Hawkeye, but it's been going on for forever. And I think the fact that it's so fast and that it has a visual component to it, right, that plays in the ballpark in addition to being, on TV broadcast, I think makes it, easy for an audience to connect to. And I think fans are going to love it. And I think you're going to get, cheers and jeers when pitches are, overturned in the ballpark. So I think it adds a little juice to it, but I haven't really had that conversation yet. I think it's gonna make a difference for sure. It's gonna be, like you're gonna see some like we've seen already, where it's like pitches that are just, half an inch off the plate, they get called a strike, are going to suddenly be balls. But more than anything, it's going to correct the egregious misses either way. And I think that's where I'm more excited about it than on the edges of the strike zone.
Well, it'd be nice if you get out of that palace that you have there in Phoenix and go out and talk to people and actually talk to other humans. I mean, it might be
I don't know that other humans would enjoy that as much, but
it might be good for you. I got to tell you, did you do that broadcaster? We all had to be on that call. It was like an hour and 15 minutes, the ABS thing with Major League Baseball.
No, despite what you said, I was busy working then because we've had spring training tours going on. So.
Well, I got to tell you, you didn't miss much. I wanted to like unmute and go, couldn't we have done this in 15 minutes? Did we have to? But when you start thinking about who is going to be able to challenge and when you're going to be able to challenge, I immediately after the call went and talked to David Force, our general manager, and that's my question. I'm like, do you have a game plan? He said, not yet. We're going to kind of wait and see. You're doing the tours. Have you been asking that question to people like, when, who, what, when, where, and how? Like, have you been asking about that? Because I think right now teams are kind of divided on how they're going to do it.
I asked a lot about it last year when it was in spring training, probably more than I have in camps this year. And I think the general consensus has been like pitchers should not challenge like ever because they don't have the best vantage point on it, right?
And so everything's a strike.
Yeah, they think everything's a strike, right? So and I think you're going to get a sense really quickly. I think the teams that are using them most aggressively, especially with their major leaguers in spring training, are going to get a better idea of which hitters have the best idea of whether or not it's a ball or strike, and that will help to limit who can challenge. I know that over the last couple of years that scouts have been tracking which catchers are the best in the minor leagues at getting overturns. That I think seems to be, as much as there's been focus on talking about how much the receiving metrics might be altered by this, which I don't think it's going to be that much, but that's a net added benefit, right? Like if you're really good at challenging borderline pitches and being right, that's a skill. And I know Baseball Savant's tracking a leaderboard on that stuff too, and went back and looked at the AAA as well. So I think that's important. So those are the things that I think have come about from it. But I'm not sure that I do think that there are a number of teams that are trying to figure out, and some of them are doing it different ways, right? Like some are being really aggressive, some are only letting a few people challenge. Tom Tango at MLB has put and kind of the game standings runs, how far you're down as to when is a good idea to challenge or not. So I think that there's going to be probably more data that goes into it, and you're going to see an evolution of who does and doesn't challenge over the course of the summer.
Mike Ferrin from SiriusXM joins us here on A's Cast Live. All right, you guys were in our camp with former A Ryan Healy, the Oregon Duck. Obviously, you have a very good relationship with Mark Kotze as he joins you every single week on Power Alley. We were just there. We're going to be going back on Sunday for a whole nother week as we'll be there calling games and then heading off to Vegas for Big League Weekend. What were the impressions? How was Kotz? And how was your tour there of the athletics camp?
Yeah, I mean, we were there on a day where I think the focus was a little split for players because it was the day the Players Association was there, which those meetings have been very long with players in the league and the union, which totally makes sense, right? Based on all the rhetoric that's been out there and certainly the changes at the head of the union. So the depth of conversation probably, off mic probably wasn't as good as it has been, but I think that it's a great sense of optimism. Because I think they know that they have one of the best young position player groups in baseball. Now, I think that there's certainly some refinement that needs to happen, and a lot of it is swing decision related. I was really encouraged talking to Nick Kurtz about, he recognizes what he did well last year and the things that he wants to work on, without trying to take away the things that he did really, really well. So I think what you're hearing from those guys is that they know that they had success. They're not taking it for granted, and they know it's not going to be exactly the same. But I think that that's the big overriding factor. And then I think the other part is, as optimistic as everybody is, I think there's a fair amount of uncertainty around the pitching, right? Like the Luis Severino stuff last year, where he wasn't thrilled with the facility and all that. Like they've done some things to help correct that, in giving the starting pitchers a better chance in that ballpark to be able to take a step aside, be able to look at some video, kind of built off the dugout there to do it, which it was impossible to do before and do what a starter does, because the home clubhouse is in left center field. They couldn't just walk off the mound, walk out there, go take the video, and then come back. So I think they're trying to be mindful of that. But I think that the question is really how good is the rotation going to be? What is the bullpen hierarchy going to be like? I know Jack Perkins is pitching today. I think he's going to fit in either in the rotation or at the back of the bullpen. And then I think a lot of it too is, when does Gage Jump come? That was a big topic of conversation that we had, because that's a guy that is going to be really exciting. And I know everybody in the A's organization is super encouraged by what they've seen from him as a pro so far. And he's going to make his big league debut at some point this year. I don't know if he's going to break camp with the team, but I think he's going to be a huge factor for them. And if he pitches well, man, it helps to get through that. And the other thing was just these, I think just the general feeling that maybe going through that stretch where they lost 20 out of 21 last year, because they know what it's like, they can do things to avoid that, right? Where it's instead of going 1-20 in a stretch, if you go 5-16, right, or 6-15, that's a big difference. And for a team that's going to have not a whole lot of margin for error if they want to get into the postseason, stopping those monster losing streaks are going to be important, especially understanding that there's still going to be stretches of the season where, they're going to lose 10 out of 12 or whatever, because most every team does that, especially the ones that are in the middle in the wild card race.
For me, kind of backing up what you're saying, but being around these guys all the time, it's like when you look at your kids and all of a sudden you go, wow, they look a lot older. They look more mature. They're a little different. Now, I had girls, but if I had boys, it'd be like, oh, wow, they got facial hair. Oh, wow, they're driving now. So you were there last year to this year. You're not around it as much, but I think it's like the word is maturity. It's like you're seeing them mature in front of your eyes. So when you say that they're not going to lose 20 and 21 again, hey, they got their teeth kicked in a little bit last year. They're now all a little bit bigger. They're all a little bit wiser. And when you go from camp to camp, everybody looks different. I think the one thing that you look at our ball club and kind of what you're saying is we look a little more mature, a little more ready for the fight.
Yeah, I think it's even just that I think some of it speaks to the makeup of the players in that they are using their failures in the positive manner, right? Like, so like everybody has success and failures, right? And if you learn from your difficult times and try to make adjustments based on it, you're going to end up coming out ahead in the end, as opposed to sulking, right? If you failed or you're ignoring what happened. And I think that's kind of where it is. But I think a lot of that, you're right. Like, some of it is maturity, just the fact that they have, or they're another year older. Another is that they have experience now, right? Like, a lot of those guys hadn't experienced that before. And I do think that there are still some guys that are going to have some different experiences. I mean, this will be the second full season for Kurtz and for Wilson. A lot of times that comes with adjustments, right? The numbers may not look quite the same. Nick Kurtz may not have 1,000
Don't
OPS.
you say that, Mike Ferrin.
I know.
Don't you say that. Don't break our hearts.
But I think Lawrence Butler's a great example of that, right? Like, Butler had a good year last year, but it wasn't quite what the second half of the year before was. But, you're going to have to make adjustments in terms of pitch selection, understanding how pitchers are throwing you, if you have to make any mechanical changes, because every year you're a little bit different. All of these different things that are part of just growing in baseball. And the more more experience you have, the better prepared you are to make those changes. And so that's kind of the way I view them, because it's an exciting bunch. They know how good they are offensively, but they know that they can be better as a group too.
And something that does always kind of worry me in a WBC year, and I know you've been a part of it in the past, is when I look at these players and we're sending all these guys off, it's like, you want to put these guys in bubble wrap, right? I mean, you want them. I mean, it's a great opportunity to go compete for your country, and it's awesome now. But, man, you're throwing some of our pitchers throwing these high-stressed innings this early, and you're airing it out this early. It can be a little bit scary.
Yeah, but I think you can get hurt playing a spring training game too. So I actually take a little bit different tack on it. I mean, I think especially for young players, getting to be in that environment and that intensity is going to be really important, right? Because listen, I loved the trip that we made to West Sacramento last year. I thought it was great. I loved being there at that ballpark, but it's not the same as playing in front of 35,000 or 30,000 in a sellout atmosphere with a lot on the line. And I think even in a pennant race, it will feel a little bit differently there, because it's just a smaller ballpark, right? It's not going to be quite the same. It's a third as many screaming fans. So I think that there's huge benefit. I think the benefits of playing in that event outweigh the risks, because the risks, like, there's not that much difference, I don't think, in the risk of being ramped up to compete in competition this early versus, just going through trying to get ready for a season, especially if you're trying to win a job. And let's not forget that the two major injuries that there were in the last WBC, one was suffered by somebody who was celebrating a victory, right? That's when Edwin Diaz blew out his knee. And the other was Jose Altuve getting hit on the hand by a pitch from Daniel Bard that was just nowhere near the strike zone. And that's something that easily could have happened. The celebration probably wouldn't have happened, right, in spring training, but the hit by pitch is something that absolutely could. So I think it's way too much worry.
You got to grant me this: airing it out in front of 40,000 versus a spring training start in front of 6. It's a different.
It's March. It's different, but it's it's not like these guys are from 40 years ago where they're showing up and using spring training to get in shape either, right? Like they're ready to go. You're right. It is different, but it's not quite the same. The place that I worry about it more is, okay, so you're coming off this adrenaline high, and then you have to go back and be bored in spring training for another week before you hit opening day. And then you get this little burst of adrenaline. And then the next week of the season is just kind of wait, we've got to do this 161 more times. Right. So that's where I think the peaks and valleys emotionally that come from the WBC change.
We're not going to see you at the ballpark in West Sacramento, are we, this year?
I don't have any plans as of yet, but you never know.
We may have to come see you. A little road game.
Oh, I would like that. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm going to be able to see you guys next week, which stinks.
What?
So,
Where are you?
I'm going to be on assignment. I can't tell you where yet, but you'll like where I'm going to be.
The rich and
You're
famous.
call me from where I'm
Man.
going
The
to be.
rich and famous. They can't tell you. We're not going to be there. I can't tell you what I'm going to be doing, but it's a big deal. Can we just say what you're going to be doing is a big deal?
I mean, I don't think it's that big a deal, but it's.
I
fine.
do.
Okay, but
there'd be a lot of guys who would want to take you out to be able to step in your shoes. And I know
there were a couple that reached out to me asking if they could take me out for the I'm not kidding.
I know.
Hey, can you put in a word for me? Well, what am I going to do? Hey.
There's a lot of guys who'd sell their soul to have that opportunity coming up that you're going to have.
I'm going to text the name of one to you right now so you can laugh at it.
So I can't take you to dinner this week?
No, you can't. I'm sorry.
When's your broadcaster dinner?
We're not having it this year because I'm going to be gone for most of the month of March.
You're letting me down.
I know it's a real bummer. I can give you there was a chance that we could have done it last weekend, but
I was there.
Stuff happened. Yeah, but we had it it was the last minute it came available, and it ended up being that I had to, I wanted to spend time with my wife before I'm gone for most of March.
Greatest charcuterie board I've ever seen in my life. All right. I say this all the time. I love your guys' show. I mean, when you have people in the business who listen and go, your guys' show's great. Well, you guys do Power Alley. That's why I keep paying for my subscription to SiriusXM. What you guys do, Channel 89, Power Alley, you're the best show on the station. You guys are phenomenal. Keep doing what you're doing, my friend. You know I'm a big fan, and good luck in this grand thing you're going to be doing coming up.
I have a feeling that I will be back on A's Cast during this grand thing that I'm doing
from some major city in some major park at some point. It's
yes.
interesting.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, at some point, maybe.
You go.
We've
just
said too much.
Just go. Be great. Be great at what you do.
Takes a lot of. That's not going to happen. Let's just say it's like you could wish greatness upon me, but I'm never going to get there. So,
all right, buddy, we'll be in touch.
All right, guys, take care.
The great Mike Ferrin. Yes, something big is going to be happening to him soon. We can't talk about it, but wink, wink. You got if you don't get what we're talking about, right? Right.
College baseball, baby.
No, not college.
Omaha.
All right. Where are we going next?
Well, we have two interviews. We can talk. You can talk.
Can I talk?
Yeah.
I was released into the wild with regular non-baseball people, regular humans yesterday, and I realized ABS is a really big deal. Major questions. I have questions that I've written down. This is going to be fascinating. This is going to draw the average sports fan into our sport this year. We talk about it next right here on A's Cast Live.
Baseball is back, and big league action has never been more affordable. For a limited time, grab your tickets to see the A's in West Sacramento for just $8. That's right, only $8 for select games this April and May. Catch the showdowns against the Royals, Cardinals, and American League West rivals, the Mariners and the Rangers. Whether it's a midweek getaway or an afternoon at the park, don't miss your chance to see your A's for less than the price of a ballpark snap. Tickets are moving fast. Head to athletics.com, that's athletics.com, to secure your seats today.
Looking to stay up to date on all things A's? Head over to athletics.com/A'sCast. That's athletics.com/A'sCast to listen to A's baseball in full 24/7 coverage of the A's, only on A's Cast. With a single click, you can stream great shows, live pre- and post-game coverage, and of course, all the great action of the A's this season. Head to athletics.com/A'sCast today.
Secure your spot for priority access to 2028 season tickets at the A's Ballpark in Las Vegas for just $19.01. The amount honors the founding year of the Athletics franchise in 1901. By joining the priority list, you'll get an early opportunity to grab season tickets before they go on sale to the public, while also supporting youth baseball and softball programs across Southern Nevada. To secure your spot, visit athletics.com/Vegas.
Tyler Soderstrom joined Chris Townsend to talk about his breakout 2025 season, his new 7-year contract extension, and his commitment to the future of the Athletics.
There was some conversation right at the end of the season last year with what they were planning to come to us with. So we had a good idea. I knew that they were going to come to us with something in November, and they came with their first offer. Everything is a negotiating process, so there was that whole process. My agent, Garrett Parcell, did a great job at Paragon Sports of kind of let me and my wife and my family just kind of sit back and let them kind of handle all of the whole process of it. And, we ended up coming to terms. So it was something that I wanted to do. I love this organization. I got drafted by them. My relationships that I've built, that's what's important to me. So I'm just excited, to be here for the long term. And, like I said, just super blessed.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/A'sCast. Secure your spot for priority access to 2028 A's season tickets in Las Vegas for just $19.01, honoring the franchise's 1901 founding year. Join the list for early ticket opportunities and support youth baseball and softball in Southern Nevada. Visit athletics.com/Vegas.
The A's YouTube page is your go-to destination for A's video content. Get access to great highlights, exclusive behind-the-scenes content, classic games, A's Cast Live, and more. Visit youtube.com/athletics.
A's Cast Live continues from the studio. Here's Chris Townsend.
All right. I think I have a great thought on the future of catching. Ferrin kind of dabbled in it, but I have it written down here that I want to get into it. My tease, I don't know if I'll do this at the top of the hour, how this will change catching forever. And it will be the most important skill for catchers. We have always thought about he's a great catch and throw guy. Johnny Bench, Pudge, right? Blocks the ball well, calls a good game. Calling a good game will always be number one. But this will now be the number two skill that everybody's going to look for, and it's going to be fascinating. Okay, so as we started the show, yesterday we had the day off. It was our first day off, which I wasn't happy about, by the way. Chris Townsend, Cody Elias, A's Cast. Thank you, everybody, for watching. YouTube, Instagram, X, Twitter, KSTE, the A's Radio Network, just listening on A's Cast. However you are watching or listening, thank you. So yesterday was our first day off and the first day that we're not working around baseball. And what happens when you work in sports, you get into this bubble, and everybody around you is like-minded. So you're kind of walled off from the world. And all of a sudden, you get a day off, and you leave the bubble, and you realize, wow, people don't even know spring training games are going on. Right? Because, sports fans, regular guys and gals, the U.S. hockey thing is still a big deal. Jack Hughes goes back to the Devils. People are talking about that on the news. You got NBA, college basketball. I was at Cal. I was at that classic ACC matchup not Duke, North Carolina. I was at Cal SMU last night.
Nothing says the Atlantic Ocean like Cal and Dallas, Texas, essentially.
Yeah, just outside Dallas. Yeah. I've always wanted to see Mustang hoop. SMU, I got to see SMU basketball last night.
First question I asked you, is Larry Brown still the coach?
I was like, where's Eric Dickerson? Where SMU? What? So I was released into the wild, and I was pounded yesterday at the golf course and then pounded last night at the game about ABS. It's the one thing that really people are fired up about. And I thought, this is really cool. Everybody's like, because they don't know. They weren't on that hour and 15-minute call with Major League Baseball about it like we were, or that I was. You weren't. That could have been 15 minutes tops. They haven't been reading about it. Most people aren't going to MLB.com and reading Mike Petriello break down 19 pages worth of a start. The average person goes to work, come home, they want to turn on television, phone, tablet, whatever, watch some sports. I mean, that's what Joe Public does that. And then they'll hopefully come to us and we'll kind of explain the things. That's why I always joke, I know you don't watch MLB Network, I do. And I'll give you what you need to know. But everybody is fascinated. Who gets to challenge? And people, for the most part, are like, the manager doesn't? Nope. It's 3 guys. And the way that it's going to be listed is batter versus fielder. And you go, fielder? Yes. The fielder is the pitcher or the catcher. And this is going to be really important because the data shows that the fielder, i.e. the pitcher and the catcher, are 10% better, what we've seen in the minor leagues, than the hitter. Why? Well, I believe, and once again, I don't think anybody right now, until we actually see it at the big league level, and we really get to live it on an everyday basis, is really going to know for sure. We can look at what's happened in the minor leagues, but until you actually implement this into big league baseball, you're not going to know exactly how it works. But I'm going to tell you this. A pitcher and a catcher are constantly throwing to hitters, to where a hitter gets 3 to 4 at-bats. So the hitter's a little more desperate because in a time frame of, let's say, 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 45 minutes, nobody thinks of baseball really as time. Like in other sports, take football. We will tell you that this offense has had the ball for this amount of time, and it's important. Longer your offense has the ball means their defense is on the field getting tired. You want to hold the ball as long as you can. I've got the ball. In basketball, I want to have more shots, more touches. How much time do I have the ball versus the other team? Because the longer I have the ball, the more chance I have to score. In baseball, we don't think about that. Well, at batter, if you bat 3 to 4 times a game in 2 hours and 45 minutes, you're really not up at the plate for that long amount of time. So there's long stretches in between when you're actually at the plate. And that's what you love to do. You love to hit. So you are a little more desperate, to where the pitcher and the catcher, they're constantly throwing to batters. So it's more routine for them. So in the minor leagues, we have seen that whether it's the pitcher or the catcher challenging versus the hitter, they're about 10% better. And right now, according to David Forrest, our general manager, we don't know how we're going to do it. Some teams have said, I do not want a pitcher calling it. I do kind of agree with that because back in my day, I always thought everything was a strike, so I would have been a horrible judge of it. There's been, I think it was Aaron Boone of the Yankees is the one guy that goes, no, I'm not against pitchers doing. I don't think we know yet how people are going to do it. We're going to see. It may evolve into this is a cat and mouse game against the catcher and the hitter. When do we allow them to do it? What is the strategy? Because it's important. This could be the difference of winning 1, 2, or 3 more games a year. And how many times do we see teams miss the playoffs by 1, 2, or 3 games? Now, the data that you're going to be getting right now is they're going to tell you that it's around 50%, right? Like everything in life, everything kind of goes to the middle. Well, I don't care what the middle is for 30 teams. I only care how the athletics are at it. Because I think this is going to be really important to be good at it. You're talking about crucial situations when umpires, we know, because I learned this in our call with Major League Baseball, that umpires obviously are all different, but they all have different strike zones per count. And they have data proof of it that they really don't want to launch to the public because it makes umpires look bad. If you had umpire A and umpire B, and you compared these two guys, you would see that their strike zones float and are different per a lot of different things, but definitely per the count. So your 0-0 count versus your 2-1, 1-2, 3-2, it changes. Umpires, the way the count, it's different. Well, now with ABS and the challenge system, it won't be. So when you use it, so you see that teams use it far less in the first inning than they do in the ninth inning. But it's going to be crucial to be good at this. And I think we think so much from the hitter standpoint, it's really going to be crucial that your catcher is going to be great at this. This, to me, is the new frontier, especially when we go to full ABS. When we go to full ABS, pitch framing, the illusionist, right? The guy that tired act of taking a ball and trying to bring it back to the strike zone, that's gone. And right now, our analytics people, they love catch framing. They love it. Oh, it's such a skill. It's such a good. That's going to be gone. That will be an archaic skill. Nobody's going to care that you can take a ball just on the outside and bring it back in for a strike. Nobody's going to care because that skill set will not matter anymore. It will still matter now, but we're not far away from full ABS. And once we go to full ABS, catcher's skill, their receiving skills are worthless. Kind of like the old school 250-pound middle linebacker that was there on first and second down, run stopper. The Matt Millens of the world, a guy I worked with in broadcasting. That guy, worthless. When's the last time you saw a slow, tough middle linebacker? They don't exist.
They're all kind of phased out of the league now.
They're phased because you need a guy who can run, he can blitz, he can get out into coverage. Just having a big dude in the middle that can stop the run, gone. It's a skill set that's gone. This is going to be gone. They're not. Why do I care how you catch it? The computer's calling it. So the number one skill, other than I'm not gonna save it. I'm gonna go with it. The number one skill that's coming up for catchers is going to be: do you really know the difference between a ball and a strike? Do you really know? Because we may go, once we go to full automated balls and strikes, which once again the public is really interested in, and I really found that out yesterday. We'll probably get more challenges. Because baseball is going to be like, people love this. And if you love this, why would you only do it 2 times a game each team? And it's so fast. It's you challenge it, and it comes up like we saw yesterday, Skeens and Matt Olson. It goes, boop, Braves are challenged. Here it comes, strike. It's 10 seconds. And if fans in the stands and fans at home watching and fans listening, and this comes down to late in the game, you're going to have people go, give me more. And if the fans want more, maybe it's 3 a game. Maybe it's 4 a game. But your catcher, if you got a bonehead catcher, that's going to be a really bad skill. It's going to be so important that you really know the strike zone. And you've got these guys that my strike zone versus Aaron Judge's strike zone is going to be different. You're going to need to know. You're going to have to study everybody's strike zones, right? You know how someone like Shea Langoliers, and we talked to Shea about studying the hitters, knowing their tendencies, know what they're able to hit, what they're not able to hit, what you need to do to attack them, everything. But you're going to need to really know their strike zone. This is going to be something that we're going to have to train guys and be really good at. Because if you've got a guy that's not good at that, and he's like, I think that's a strike, challenge, and he's wrong, you're like, bro, what are you doing? That will be the next big skill set in baseball for catchers is, can you decide right if this is a ball or a strike? And this whole bring the ball back, oh, look how good he is at pitch framing, that's going to be archaic. I mean, it'll still be now because we have umpires still calling balls and strikes. But once we get rid of that guy that we value so much in the analytical world, that'll be archaic. Can you decide if this is a ball or a strike? And boy, if you go to MLB.com and you see the one yesterday where Paul Skeens floats a breaking ball to the outside to Matt Olson, it looks like it's way out. Matt Olson challenges it, and it was almost on the line. It was closer than you thought. Matt Olson won the challenge, but it was so close. So for catchers, this to me evolves essentially until we go to full ABS. This is, to me, going to evolve into a battle between the catcher and the hitter and who's better at deciphering what a strike and a ball is.
It was interesting. I think it was 2 days ago, Pirates Red Sox. It was a big deal because it started in the first inning, but the home plate umpire had 5 straight calls overturned by ABS in the game. Like literally 5 straight pitches were overturned by ABS. And I think it was our buddy, the pitching ninja, put a tweet out saying, essentially, do you think you're having a bad day? The home plate umpire in Pirates Red Sox had 5 straight calls overturned. And like you mentioned how the fans love it. They gave him a sarcastic cheer after the 5th one was overturned. But I went and looked at like the number 1 catchers for framing because we were just talking about it. A guy like Patrick Bailey for the Giants who can't hit. I mean, what's his career like? Because he can't hit. And he's a really good pitch framer. Alejandro Kirk can hit, but he's a good framer. Austin Wells, he's a good framer.
He can hit.
He can hit a little bit. Austin Hedges, he's older now, but he's a defensive guy. And then Kyle Raleigh's on there. Some of the other guys.
He can't hit. Well, you said he won't hit 60. What didn't you come out with that really hot take?
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to hit 60 home runs.
I had people blowing me up. I can't believe you're saying he's not going to hit 60 home runs again as a catcher. I'm just going to go on a limb and say hot take Tuesday for the first week of the season. I'm going to say Kyle Raleigh will not hit 60 home runs.
Wow, you are really going out on a limb, my friend.
He might not hit 50.
Wow. Will that be Remember, Bonds never even sniffed. Bonds has never hit 50 home runs. Or he never did hit 50 home runs. He hit 73 and then never hit 50.
Never hit 54. I think his career high was 49.
I mean, it's kind of like, is that a letdown? Like, if you're a Mariners fan and your catcher hits, I don't know, 41 home runs, are you going to be like, man, that's kind of an off year? How do you come back? Sammy Sosa is the only guy that did 3 straight years of 60 plus. What did McGuire? McGuire hit 72. What did he hit the year after? It was a lot.
Let's see.
It was a lot. It was over 50.
I'll give Raleigh credit. I was just looking. He does have 3 straight years of 30 or more homers. That's including the 60.
That's great. I mean, it's incredible.
And he had 27 the year
so
prior
after
to that.
72, what did McGuire hit?
He hit 70. Then he only hit 65 the following year.
Okay, it was more than I thought. Yeah, but I mean, that was like, this is real, though. Cal Raleigh had literally, if you take the PED guys out, Kyle Raleigh's year is one of the greatest years in Major League Baseball. It's one of the greatest years
I totally agree.
A player has ever had. Like, even if he wasn't a catcher, I mean, you throw in the catching part of it, which is astounding. If you just said offensively and you took just, hey, the fact that it makes him a catcher, he's a catcher, it truly makes it one of the greatest years of all time. But if you took out even the fact that he was a catcher, Kyle Raleigh's year is one of the great offensive years in the history of the game. What did he finish with?
60 homers, 125 runs driven in, a 948 OPS, and a 247 average. He also scored 110 runs.
A catcher with 60 home runs.
The next closest guy, there's a tie with Shea Langoliers and Hunter Goodman of the Rockies. So each had 31. And then
those are incredible years. He had double the amount of home runs.
Yeah.
Shea Langoliers was great. I mean, unfortunately, he got hurt. Shea Langoliers getting hurt was so interesting. Watching his sister play in the softball World Series and watching him get in shape. Like, he got in a little better shape. He looked a little thinner. I mean, he ended up having a great year, but 60 bombs.
Remember when Salvi Perez hit like 48 as a catcher?
He was MVP.
And everyone's like, oh, this is an incredible year for him.
That was the MVP year, right?
Did he win the MVP?
He's won an MVP.
All I know is he hit 48, and then Kyle Raleigh said, I'll do you one better, and he hit 60. Let's see, where does Salvi? I don't think he won the MVP. I think he finished. He was definitely.
But he's won the MVP.
He's won the World Series MVP.
He's never won an MVP?
The year he hit 48 homers, he finished, where's he at? Salvi, 7th in the MVP voting.
I thought
7th.
he won an MVP.
Yeah, just the World Series MVP when they beat the Mets.
I mean, if you 60 home runs,
and he finished
it's so magical.
And he finished second behind Aaron Judge, who had a great year too.
It's so magical that if he just hits 35, it's going to be like,
down year.
It'd be like a sales guy. You go out and you're in sales, and let's say you sell $10 million worth of product, and you're just the darling of the company, right? Everybody's just loving you because you're making everybody money. Your commission is huge.
That's a good chunk of commission.
It's the biggest commission of your career. And then the next year you only sell, $4 million. And
off
you're like, he had an off year.
It's as we say in sports, that guy's washed. Yeah, I mean, there's only 7 catchers in total baseball last year hit 20 or more homers. So, I mean, what we saw Raleigh do, he hit 40 more home runs than Yainer Diaz of the Astros.
Getting back to these articles that I've been reading about the data in the minor leagues about how it's working out, it's like, I get it, but I don't care. All I care about are the A's good at it. Because we have lived the one game matters a lot. Lived it in 12. Lived it in 14. Lived it 2018 and 19, back in the wild card. Like, you win a couple more games, 1 game, 2 game, 3 games. That's why it always drives, we talk about it throughout the year, that don't tell me. I mean, look how we fell into the trap, and I get it, play-by-play. We're not play-by-play guys, right? We're talk show people. We've got to be real. We've got to tell you losing games in May sucks. Play-by-play people got to tell you, it's early. Managers say it's early. Everybody talks about it's early. It's not early. Game 1 means the exact same as game 162 in the standings. And our sport, because it's so long, doesn't want to address that, right? You lose early and you put yourself in a hole, you've got to do something that's so incredible to dig out of that hole, and usually it does not happen. You magically can do it like the A's did in 2012, but, the A's have played for 100 and what
this
year?
Will be 125th season.
I can tell you, in 125 years of this organization, when you start off crap, you end not in the playoffs. So, but listen, when people are paid to be ultra positive and to it's sunshine and lollipops and unicorns and everything's great. It's not that big of a deal. We've lost 9 to 10, right? I mean,
it's early,
and I have to do that on NBC too. I admit it. Like here we can be real. We can be totally real. But in the other part of the broadcasting world, we all have to be, hey, it's not that bad. Dude, we lost 20 of 21.
It's not that bad. It was early in the year.
Oh, my God. I was just grinding every day going, this can't be happening. I mean,
it's Groundhog Day.
Do you remember the old game Battleship?
Yeah.
You sunk my battleship. We're done. Like, people are trying to sell like, it's all right. It's all right. No, it's not. You can't lose 20 of 21. I don't know if there's ever been a team who's lost 20 of 21 and ever made the playoffs. And then people go, well, if we hadn't have done that. Like, what? You did. So what is it? What do you mean if you hadn't have done that? You did that. That's who you are. That's in your DNA. You lost 20 of 21. You just don't erase that fact. But, this is the thing. Like, these early games really, really matter. And so these early games matter. How you use ABS is going to be key. Who are going to be the best teams at it? And that's why the only thing I care about is how the A's are at it. How good is Shea Langoliers knowing? Austin. These guys that we got behind the plate, how good are they? Austin Wentz, how good are they knowing balls and strikes and our hitters? And what time to do it? When to do it? Like, what's the strategy? And the strategy may evolve, right? You may try it out early and go, let's save it 5th inning on. let's only do it with runners on. I don't know what the strategy will be. I just know it's going to be really important to be good at it because it could save you. Like, we believe this team could be in the playoffs, right? And this may come down to a game or 2 or 3 on getting into the playoffs, and how you do ABS may steal you a couple more games.
I mean, do you think the team like the Yankees would love to have a game back from last year?
Oh, my God.
They lost on a tiebreaker to the Blue Jays. Like, that was they're
a great example. We see it almost, it's not every year, but we see it, right? We see it to where this 6+ month marathon comes down to, I lost out by a game. Well, what if you made a challenge, got that right, and then the next pitch, guy hits it into the gap, you score 2 more runs, you win, and now you're in the postseason, and oh my God, you make a run at the World Series.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the Yankees wish it would have done. That's the most recent. I have a lot of recency bias, so that'd be the most recent one. But yeah,
That's a great example.
Yeah, because they lost out by a game. They end up not being the AL East winner. The Blue Jays got it, and they played in the playoffs, and the Blue Jays won and had a home field advantage.
What if the A's win one of those games in May, where they're on that long losing streak, and it just changed things, and they didn't have that long losing streak? And maybe there was some break that you got because you know, the catcher, it was a tough situation. You know, you got bases loaded, Shea Langelier's challenges, you get the strike, you get out of the jam, and now you win that game.
I was always told once by the great Lorenzo Neal, if ifs and whats were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. So, but yeah, you're right, though. I mean, if you win one of those games in May, you don't lose 2021, and this season looks completely different. But unfortunately, it happened, and you don't want it to happen again. But it's this ABS thing. You're right. Like, catchers being able to call balls and strikes is going to be very big going forward. And the catch framing, bye-bye in a couple of years.
So just know this. You're going to see a lot of fielder versus hitter. And just know that the fielder, it's not the third baseman it's the pitcher. When they say fielder, it's going to be the pitcher and the catcher. That's what they mean by fielder. So it's basically the pitcher and the catcher versus the hitter. Who's going to call it? Well, what we've seen in the minor leagues, just to give you right before we break for a second, the fielder, which is the pitcher and the catcher in the minor leagues, has been 10% better, basically 55% to 45% better at challenging than the hitter. So it's about 10% better.
Was this the part of that broadcasting call?
No, I think it was an article. It was the Mike Petriello, MLB.com, because they're going back to all the data that they had in the minor leagues. So, and I do believe that because the hitter's a little desperate, because he's only getting 3-4 chances, he may be like, that's a ball, and no, it's a strike. So it's going to be interesting. All right, coming up next, who we got?
Let's play Jack Perkins, who's on the mound today.
Big Jack Perkins. Love me some Perk. You want to talk some Indiana Hoosiers? Right here on A's Cast Live.
The time is now. Grab your sunglasses, A's gear, and get ready for some fun in the sun. Spring training is back as the Athletics get ready for the 2026 season. Now's the time to make plans to catch us in Mesa, Arizona, and enjoy the sunshine of your family and friends. Grab your tickets for the best seats at the lowest prices as your green and gold take on the Dodgers, Giants, Cubs, Padres, and more at Ho-Ho-Cam Stadium. Don't wait. Get your tickets at athletics.com/spring. That's athletics.com/spring.
Secure your spot for priority access to 2028 season tickets at the A's ballpark in Las Vegas for just $19.01. The amount honors the founding year of the Athletics franchise in 1901. By joining the priority list, you'll get an early opportunity to grab season tickets before they go on sale to the public, while also supporting youth baseball and softball programs across Southern Nevada. To secure your spot, visit athletics.com/Vegas.
Unlock offers and receive exclusive in-game features by downloading the MLB Ballpark app for iPhone and Android today. Plus, get the latest information on game time, schedules, and more. The A's YouTube page is your go-to destination for A's video content. Get access to great highlights, exclusive behind-the-scenes content, classic games, A's Cast Live, and more. Visit youtube.com/athletics.
Baseball is back, and big league action has never been more affordable. For a limited time, grab your tickets to see the A's in West Sacramento for just $8. That's right, only $8 for select games this April and May. Catch the showdowns against the Royals, Cardinals, and American League West rivals, the Mariners and the Rangers. Whether it's a midweek getaway or an afternoon at the park, don't miss your chance to see your A's for less than the price of a ballpark snack. Tickets are moving fast. Head to athletics.com, that's athletics.com, to secure your seats today. American League Rookie of the Year Nick Kurtz joined Chris Townsend on A's Cast Live to discuss his historic 2025 campaign and becoming the first Athletic to win the award since 2009.
Yeah, it was awesome. When it kind of got announced, we were all in Hawaii together. Willie was in the same room as me when we were on the show, so that was really cool to kind of celebrate, as a team.
When you look back, what do you think of when you look back in this Rookie of the Year season? You had the monstrous game in Houston, historic game. What are the things that you really reflected on?
Just kind of the whole year as a whole. When you look at any kind of season, you have the parts where you feel really good at the plate. You have the days where you feel really bad, and then the majority is you're just trying to do what you can do that day to put the ball in play and get a base hit. It's not a good day if you don't get the team win as well. So that's kind of what I've reflected the most about is, yeah, I did all these great things, but it's got to lead to October. And that's the most important thing.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/A'sCast.
A's Cast Live continues from the studio. Here's Chris Townsend.
Let's pause for station identification right here on A's Cast. The Hall of Famer Ken Korach is going to join us coming up here at the bottom of the hour. Looking at this baseball preview that I got, it goes around, says everything that a team needs to do, the keys to the season. And one thing that we haven't really talked a lot about, and we addressed a little bit with the pitchers and Mike Ferrin, but we're talking about, the A's growing up, maturity and everything, seeing the young players, adding the veteran guys like McNeil's going to be good. The young pitchers, Wei-In Lin, the Taiwanese Blake Snell, I believe is what assistant general manager Billy Owens called him on our show back at the winter meetings, right?
Taiwanese Snellzilla.
Snellzilla. Is that what he called him?
That's what Blake Snell's nickname is, Snellzilla.
No, I know. What but I think he called him the Taiwanese Blake Snell. Yeah. And Gage Jump, who's going to make is definitely going to be here. But also it's going to be a year of the drama is no longer really a part of the story. And that's what I'm so happy for our players is I don't like to talk a lot about it because it sounds like an excuse. But everything that our players have had to go through, really, most players in the history of baseball have never had to do because of all the stuff that has happened off the field. When you start moving cities, when you're playing in a different city, not in a major league ballpark, having events in the city that you're going to, right? Like we're gonna have a great time in Vegas next weekend. It's gonna be awesome. We're going to have great shows for you. We're going to be on the weekend. We'll be on Saturday and Sunday next week. And it's great. But this is not normal. What these players had to do the last year in Oakland, first year in Sacramento, it's not normal. And the baseball world doesn't factor that in. Because whenever you say, everywhere you look now, MLB.com, ESPN, CBS Sports, all the magazines, everybody's got what needs to happen for the 2026 Marlins or the Royals or the Yankees or, everybody's projecting all these different things. And, we need to drum up content. That's what we do. Everybody drums up content. Everybody's looking for clicks and they put the story on Twitter and please look at it. That's just our world. But no one really ever factors in what we have had to go through. The players. Well, from a broadcasting standpoint, our lives have completely changed. Like, I never envisioned my life spending 80-something days in downtown Sacramento and living in a hotel. I never saw that. I never saw that I don't know how many people in Major League Baseball do half of their work in one city and half in another that do my job. I don't think there's anybody else in baseball who does what I do, having to work in multiple cities, right? I don't think the guy in Cleveland is working in Cleveland for half the games and has to go like down to Cincinnati for the other game, right? Doesn't happen. I'm working in Sacramento and San Francisco. It's crazy. But for the players, what our players have been through is unreal. Well, this year, we don't have that. There is some sense of normalcy to go with the maturity, if that makes sense to anybody. These kids are growing up. That's the maturity. And now there's normalcy that you're going back to Sacramento. You've been in the clubhouse. You've played in that field. You've done the travel. You've lived in the city. Nothing's going to be new anymore. That could maybe be the biggest factor of them all that nobody's factoring in. Well, because it's not sexy, right? You want to say, the A's have a top 5 offense. ESPN just gave them top 5 offense.
Yeah, tied for 5th with the Blue Jays.
Right? Like Mike Ferrin, they just went. SiriusXM just went. We haven't heard the preview yet. Do you think they really talk about this? We know the other people who've come in to preview the A's really haven't talked about it. It may be the biggest thing of the season so far, normalcy. To be just, this is regular now. This is not something that, when we showed up, it was like, what's it going to be like? I don't know. Did you know? I didn't know. And here comes the Cubs and here comes the Padres. And the early part of the season, the opposing team looked more comfortable than we did. The record shows it. Now it's going to be different. Now it's like, this is what the field's like. This is how it plays. It's cold early. I didn't know it was going to be cold early. Do you know it was going to be cold early? I didn't even heard of the Delta breeze before.
I was told it was going to be 100 degrees every day.
Yeah, I mean, people are telling me, how are you going to play baseball? It's 108. 180 was freezing at night. Steve Sachs is shivering, and he's from West Sacramento. Like, the Delta breeze is real. Like, we learn things. There's going to be nothing new for anybody, but most importantly, the players. So that's what, to me, when I look at the preview stuff, that is going to be a big factor, is that the drama, the unknown, all of that is gone. These players are different than everybody. Remember, we're all in a bubble. And I think that's also something, too, that a lot of people certain fans don't realize, especially in Northern California, is that we've now gone into this bubble. The outside the bubble stuff doesn't matter anymore. Like, any craziness or any negativity or throwing shade or trolling, it's all gone. We're in a bubble now. We don't care. Moving forward, we've done too much in Vegas now. This is where we are. It's going to be incredible. The outside noise really, I think that's going to be a big thing for all of us this year. Is we're so entrenched in what the future is. The past is like, I'm sorry, just don't have time for it. So the players, that will be a big thing for our players this year, is the unknown is gone. Now you still you got to go out and play. You still got to go out and you still got to hit. You still got to pitch. You still got to play defense. But, our players were, how do you get to the ballpark? Where am I going to live? Where do I eat? All of that is erased. Normalcy is a great thing for everybody in life, and our players are finally going to have it.
It's well said, because it's true. I mean, taking our selfish side out of it from what we had to go through, the players, what they had to go through the last couple of years, not just this past season.
You switched hotels during the year.
Yeah, it's true.
How many people go, I'm in this hotel, but you know what? Now I'm going to switch to this hotel. I mean, it was like, life was crazy. First world problems. I get it. I mean, when you got to stay at a really nice hotel 82 times, that's horrible. But yeah, it's weird. I started to realize that. I'm sorry, I
was just going to say, well, I mean, you want to add on? I mean, we each have a 2-hour drive to Sacramento. There's that too.
Well, there's the
one way
drive to San
Francisco. That we carpool in.
It's 55 miles from our house to San Francisco, and then it's even longer to Sacramento. So we were telling you, our jobs. No one has what we have in baseball. We're doing way more when it comes to travel stuff. It's crazy. but it's the gig, and we accept it, and we'll move forward. Happy to be a part of it. It's just we're just showing you that it's just different, right? You changed hotels. I started to realize when you live in a hotel and it's not vacation, it's a different deal.
Absolutely.
Like, you go to Hawaii for 8 days, you don't care that you're living out of your suitcase because every day you're just putting swim trunks on. I'm putting flip-flops on, swim trunks. I'm heading out. Where's the sunscreen? I'm at poke bowls and hanging out by the pool, going down into the water, play golf. You don't care. 8 days in a hotel when you're working is totally different. When you got to get ready it's like, wow. I started to realize I had to bring comforts from home with me because 8 days was a long time. I need my pillows. There's certain things that I needed to bring to give me comfort, right? And I'm sure the players are the same way. It's going to play big for us this year. And I think it's something we'll talk to the players about. The outside world doesn't understand, but for our players, I want our players to know I understand. That I understand what they went through last year was really, really hard, and no one gives them the credit. And they should get credit on leaving Oakland, coming to Sacramento, now doing events in Vegas. They should get credit for it because it takes a lot of toughness to be able to win and survive in that kind of environment. And our guys, as I said, maturing and are growing into that. And it's something that watching them sign these extensions, when we did the interview with Jeff McNeil, have we played that already?
Yeah.
Like Jeff McNeil going, I'm fired up to be here. Right? Like Severino's different this year. You got Soderstrom. You got Butler. You got Rooker. You got Wilson, who've all signed up saying, I'm in. Let's go. We're trying to get Langoliers there, trying to get Kurtz there. But you got guys who are like, let's go. It's different this year. It is definitely different, but I applaud our players for going through all that because it is not easy. It's not. And on that note, a guy who was a part of it. Do we got Perk?
Yeah, a guy who's went from living in Kokomo, Indiana to living in the big city. Sacramento's way.
Have you been to Indiana?
I drove through it when I moved to California. Stopped at a White Castle there.
So you really haven't been to Indiana?
No, I drove through Indianapolis.
So you really haven't been.
I have not.
Yeah, it's like I've been to the airport. That doesn't count. Just driving through and seeing. So you haven't.
I think the only place I stopped at was at a White Castle.
Okay, then you haven't been. So Indianapolis is cool. I enjoyed my time there. We had some good nights. St. Elmo's Steakhouse is phenomenal.
I always hear about that. The shrimp cocktail.
I went to the Indianapolis Speedway, which is crazy.
Legendary.
The amount of people they have there for the Indianapolis 500. Oh, it's unreal. And the stands and there's a big golf course there. Been to South Bend, Indiana, Notre Dame. I like Indiana. I like our friends in the flyover state. Really nice people. Well, Jack Perkins is great people. And he's going to be on the Hill today. Here he is on Ace Cast Live. All right, we were just talking off the air, and I know we're going to get to you starting, potentially bullpen, whatever it's going to be for the Athletics in 2026. But we're talking to an actual Indiana Hoosier. You still have to be on an all-time high. Your college winning the national championship, not in basketball, Bobby Knight, but in football.
Yep. So special. to see, obviously being an Indiana alum from Indiana, growing up watching the Hoosiers, even when they were terrible, to now, to be national champions and to see what Signetti's done in such a short amount of time. It's pretty special. Especially for all the past generations of Hoosiers that have gone through and wanted the football sport to be as relevant as it is today. And I think Signetti and his staff have done a great job, and definitely proud to be a Hoosier right now.
All right. For people who may not watch college football, when he says not very good, we're talking about the worst record in Division I history, because Indiana's been around for a long time, Big Ten, and played so many games, known as basketball state, basketball school, IU, obviously with the national championships. And, we were talking about off the air how in an era where everybody used to cheat and pay players, when you can now pay players legally, who would have ever thought Indiana would end up on top?
Yeah, I think it's just credit to our donors. Obviously, Mark Cuban being a huge one, but having such
Hey,
a
you're a
good
big
support
leaguer. Were
staff.
you throwing out big change in there too in the NIL money?
Not yet. I got to get that contract first, and then maybe we'll see.
All right, for you, I'm really excited for you this season. I mean, obviously, your role could be a lot of different things, but it's going to be a role of getting a lot of key outs, whether it's going to be as a starter or out of the bullpen. You showed last year, I mean, obviously in the minor leagues, you've shown what you've shown as a starter, but you showed last year you can come out of the bullpen. Just how excited are you to get 2026 going?
Oh, I'm ready. I mean, I think last year was a great year, just getting my feet wet, getting to debut and experience the big league level. But after doing that, just the confidence that I've gained, knowing that I'm capable of getting outs, like you said, and in any type of role that is, whether it's starting or out of the bullpen. And honestly, just healthy, ready to roll, ready to have a fully healthy 2026, be able to go out there for 162 games and help this ball club win. So in whatever role that is, I'm ready to do it.
A lot of starters will go to the bullpen. It takes some time. They don't look comfortable. Obviously, you're very routine oriented. You're used to a full day to get ready for your start mentally. It's the long warm up in the bullpen. It's go down there, give me 8 tosses and let's go. You're ready to go. You took to that. Why do you think you started to get comfortable so fast coming out of the bullpen?
I just think some of the vets that we had down there, I mean, Sean Newcomb, Michael Kelly, Mason Miller was still here at the time. Just being able to pick those guys' brains. What do their routines look like? How do you manage your throwing workload? How do you manage, your stress levels throughout the day? Because, starting out, it was long relief and coming in the middle of games, and then it turned into some more leverage situations, and then learning how to manage the stress level there. Obviously you're in later innings, you're throwing some big time pitches, which, is really good for the adrenaline, but, having the maturity to calm those nerves down, to be able to execute when needed. And obviously, it's fun. It's fun to be in those moments. It's fun to live with the thrill of having to strike a guy out in the 8th inning to keep the ball game tied or keep a lead, So I just give a lot of credit to them for being open enough to share their routines with me and help me out in any way that they could.
Yeah, think about it. You've got all this adrenaline that you don't have that adrenaline in the 2nd and the 3rd inning. Now you got full on into the game pressure. You're coming in. It's like a whole different world for you.
Yeah, it makes warming up a little bit easier. You don't need as many throws to get loose.
I dig it. And I really I liked what you did. So that's why it's like, I know you want to start, but you want to be at the big league level. So you have that ability to be a starter, or you have the ability to come out of the bullpen, which is huge. I want you to talk about that clubhouse right now, because it's different. You have a bunch of these young players who have now signed long-term deals. There's a core. You're a part of that core. The vibe is, hey, why not us? We can win. We can win this year. So you tell me, what is it like spring training so far, 2026?
I would just say the closeness of the group. I mean, we're very open. We're very vulnerable. Whether, you're a guy like Rooker who's been here for a few years and have that big league experience, Shea years, or you're a guy like me who's just debuted and rookie and still trying to find your feet in the game. And I just think, we do a great job of communicating. We do a great job of spending time together. We all enjoy being around each other. And I think that's so special. It's one of those things where you enjoy coming to the field every day. You enjoy getting to do the monotonous things during spring training because you're around your guys that you haven't seen all off season. And I just think that's going to be so crucial for us going through 2026 and everything that we experienced last year, the ups, the downs, and just having that, that knowledge of what it took to push through that and get to that second half that we had where we honestly started to turn things around. And I really liked what I saw out of us. So super excited, super close as a group, supporting each other. And I just think that's so important in this game with the amount of failure that's involved.
How nice is it to come to spring training with some big league innings for you? Like, there's just a different confidence, right? There's a different feeling. You're not the guy coming in like, God, I got to do everything I can. Like, it's just a different world. You're a little more comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think comfortability is great. And like you said, the confidence, for me, being able to go out there, get some big outs in big situations, get a few starts under my belt. One, it just brings the versatility that I bring to the table and the different ways I can help this ball club. But two, just the confidence level for me to know that I can come in and I can compete at this level. And in my mind, I can be one of the best at this level. And I think last year, just being able to get my feet wet and get going with that was huge.
So I've been asking everybody, what's the coolest thing that happened to you this offseason or that you did that had nothing to do with baseball? But I think I know your answer already.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to take the Hoosiers win a national championship. That's obviously very special. But for me, honestly, just the family trips with my wife's family and her side of things, and my family, we did a family trip as well, and just getting to spend that quality time. I mean, you think you understand the craziness of the baseball world and the minor leagues and the travel and all that, but then you get to the big leagues and you're going, different time zones all the way across the country and back, all the travel that's involved. So getting to spend that quality time with them and soak that in, heading into a big 2026 was super special.
Fans need to realize when we talk about the grind of 162, yes, you may, whether it's college ball or you're going to play in the minor leagues and the long bus rides and everything, still it is different playing every day. And when every game means something, there's extra stress. It's just that much tougher. And people don't realize, and something for you guys, when you first taste it, then you realize, oh, I really got to change workouts, get my body ready, because a full big league season is different.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even this offseason, me and my wife decided to come out here to Arizona, really switch up the training routine, really dive into the health side of things from a medical standpoint, iron out, my different blood work, the way I eat, the way I train, my recovery modalities, different things like that I'm trying to put in the work to make sure I'm healthy for 162 games. And until you experience it up here in the big leagues, you don't really fully grasp the weight of what that does to you. And like I said, the time zone switches and all the travel. So definitely putting in a lot of work. I think a lot of our clubhouse has done that now that they've gained experience and feeding off the veteran guys. So I'm really excited for this year, excited for a healthy year, excited to see what the A's can do in 2026.
By the way, on the coolest thing, I got a lot of, I got married, got engaged, we had our first child, da-da-da. My school won the national championship.
Natty champs, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Hey, and it could be for the next couple of years. It's a loaded roster. It's so interesting how basically Indiana went out and got older players. So you've got guys that are 21, 22, up to 23 years old. They might have been two-star prospects when they were coming out of high school, but now they'd be rated as top prospects. And as they always say, older guys are going to be younger guys. That Indiana was almost the same age as the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
How crazy was that?
That is crazy.
Well, you know what? I know it's going to be a big year for you. Congratulations on everything that's happened to you in your career, and congratulations on your Hoosiers.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Townie.
You stay healthy, and we'll see you back in Sacramento.
Will do. Thank you.
Jack. He's riding high. Not obviously your first child, getting married, getting engaged, all far more important. But for us sports dorks, we're sports dorks. Winning your alma mater winning the national championship. I mean, come on, Indiana. It's one thing if like you go to like Ohio State or you went to Oklahoma or you went to Miami or,
What's crazy about that too is Kurt Cignetti, the head coach, used to coach. Everyone gives me crap for what my college was called. He used to coach at Indiana University of Pennsylvania, which is my school's biggest rival, as the head coach.
Indiana of Pennsylvania?
Yeah, it's where Jimmy Stewart's from. Wonderful Life.
Indiana of Pennsylvania?
Yeah, there's a small town in PA called Indiana.
Oh, that's a school in Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
It's not a school in Indiana?
No, it's a school in Pennsylvania.
You guys are so back-ass word. It's just what? Indiana University of Pennsylvania?
Correct, yeah. PSAC, Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. Same conference as my school.
Nobody cares.
That's where Cignetti started.
Nobody cares.
He is a Saban guy,
You
too.
guys, but nobody cares.
Their biggest donor is a Pittsburgh guy, the great Mark Cuban. Also alumni.
Did he go there?
Yeah.
He went to Indiana, Pennsylvania?
No, he went to Indiana. He went to IU.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. I can't get rid of Indiana.
You can't get over
Pennsylvania.
IUP.
Is there anybody else on our roster that you can think of that their school could legitimately win the national championship? First guy I think of is our guy Shea Langoliers went to Baylor. That's
correct,
a possibility.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Grand Canyon, sorry, Jacob Wilson, if you're listening in the clubhouse, you got no shot.
Mississippi State, no shot. Sorry, Rook.
Oh, that's JT Ginn and Rook.
Yeah.
It could. If Indiana could, Mississippi State could. Mississippi State's had some good teams. Dak Prescott. Who else are college guys?
Our outfielders are all guys out of high school.
Nick Kurtz could win the NCAA tournament.
Their football team's not bad.
Wake Forest, the Demon Deacons.
No national champion. They could win They win a bowl game every.
Most people don't even know what the hell a Demon Deacon is. But Nick Kurtz's school could win the national championship in football.
Jeff McNeil, no chance. He went to. And he go to
he's a gaucho, isn't he?
He went somewhere where he's from. There, did he go to like Northridge or Fullerton?
Oh, he went to Northridge. That's right. Yeah, they don't have football.
Isn't that where Denzel Clark went to?
Northridge, yes, correct.
Yeah. I don't think there's really any guys in there.
We don't have like a lot of big college. We don't have guys from big colleges.
Oh well. By the way, speaking of Kurtz. I want old school 70s, 80s NBC breaking news.
Because our old ABC sounder got canceled because we're NBC. That's the best NBC has for a news breaking sound.
I just did a quick YouTube search while we were playing the Perkins interview, so I could probably find better.
There's got to be better. Joel Sherman from the New York Post.
On X, the A's have made a long-term extension offer to AL Rookie of the Year, Nick Kurtz, according to two sources. I received no word on the likelihood of it getting to the finish line. The A's over the last year have done pre-arbitration extensions with Butler, Soderstrom, and Wilson. So Joel Sherman, New York Post, MLB Network, not friend of the program. He's like a white whale for me, reporting that the A's have made a long-term extension offer to AL Rookie of the Year, Nick Kurtz. We don't know any of the details. Years, money.
I got an idea.
Well,
it's a lot of money.
I would assume so.
It's not the kind of money you think, and it just kind of shows you just how crazy baseball has become. When we have contracts that are $700 million, $500 million. I mean, these contracts have made the $300 million contracts look like nothing. I mean, if you're Aaron Judge, and we were there at the winter meetings in San Diego, and the Giants are going after Judge, the Padres are going after Judge, and he ends up signing with the Yankees. It was over $300 million. That seems like chump change now.
Yeah.
Right? Trout's extension for $435 million seems like chump. That's like Ken Korach money. I mean, that's chump change. This is wonderful news because now if it's the money I think that I've been hearing, it's the kind of money that's going to make Kurtz really think about it because that's money he would have right now. You got that right now. No matter what happens in your career for the rest of your life, you've got that money. You are on easy street. And he can live off this amount of money for the rest of his life and his children and his grandchildren. This is exciting news. Joel Sherman, two different sources. We're not one of them.
Correct.
I've heard about the money being floated around. Well, you know what? Who cares what I think? What does Ken Korach think? You'll find out next right here on A's Cast Live.
Baseball is back and big league action has never been more affordable. For a limited time, grab your tickets to see the A's in West Sacramento for just $8. That's right, only $8 for select games this April and May. Catch the showdowns against the Royals, Cardinals, and American League West rivals, the Mariners and the Rangers. Whether it's a midweek getaway or an afternoon at the park, don't miss your chance to see your A's for less than the price of a ballpark snack. Tickets are moving fast. Head to athletics.com, that's athletics.com, to secure your seats today.
Looking to stay up to date on all things A's? Head over to athletics.com/A'sCast. That's athletics.com/A'sCast to listen to A's baseball in full 24/7 coverage of the A's, only on A's Cast. With a single click, you can stream great shows, live pre- and post-game coverage, and of course, all the great action of the A's this season. Head to athletics.com/A'sCast today.
Secure your spot for priority access to 2028 season tickets at the A's ballpark in Las Vegas for just $19.01. The amount honors the founding year of the Athletics franchise in 1901. By joining the priority list, you'll get an early opportunity to grab season tickets before they go on sale to the public, while also supporting youth baseball and softball programs across Southern Nevada. To secure your spot, visit athletics.com/Vegas.
Tyler Soderstrom joined Chris Townsend to talk about his breakout 2025 season, his new 7-year contract extension, and his commitment to the future of the Athletics.
There was some conversation right at the end of the season last year with what they were planning to come to us with. So we had a good idea. I knew that they were going to come to us with something in November, and they came with their first offer. Everything is a negotiating process, so there was that whole process. My agent, Garrett Parcell, did a great job at Paragon Sports of kind of let me and my wife and my family just kind of sit back and let them kind of handle all of the whole process of it. And, we ended up coming to terms. So it was something that I wanted to do. I love this organization. I got drafted by them. My relationships that I've built, that's what's important to me. So I'm just excited, to be here for the long term. And, like I said, just super blessed.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/A'sCast. Secure your spot for priority access to 2028 A's season tickets in Las Vegas for just $19.01, honoring the franchise's 1901 founding year. Join the list for early ticket opportunities and support youth baseball and softball in Southern Nevada. Visit athletics.com/Vegas.
The A's YouTube page is your go-to destination for A's video content. Get access to great highlights, exclusive behind-the-scenes content, classic games, A's Cast Live, and more. Visit youtube.com/athletics.
A's Cast Live continues from the studio. Here's Chris Townsend.
All right, we're heading back to Mesa, Arizona. The Bay Area Radio Hall of Famer Ken Korach will be calling today. Will be calling the action today. With Chris Carey will make his Cactus League debut. Ken, how are you this afternoon?
Yeah, you're right. Working with Chris Carey today. I'm doing well, Tony. It's great to be with you.
Well, this is kind of breaking news. Well, it's not real news. It's just a potential. Joel Sherman of the New York Post citing two sources, because you need not one, you need two, that a real contract extension has been offered to Nick Kurtz. I think we all would say we'd love to see him sign it. We would love to have, whether it's in Mesa or in Las Vegas, a press conference. He's going to mean so much to the future of this organization, the next 2 years in Sacramento, then, of course, 2028 Vegas and on. When you just hear something like that there is that potential, how does that make you feel?
Well, I saw the same story that you saw, Tony, and beyond that, I think we've always felt that if the A's could lock up Nick Kurtz long term, that would be a great thing. He's such a cornerstone player for the club. But beyond that, my feeling is let's wait and see. Sometimes these things are reported and they come to fruition. Sometimes they don't. I certainly hope that it does. I don't have any inside information, but like the A's locking up Jacob Wilson and Soderstrom recently, I think is something the team really wants to do to provide that foundation for not just the next 2 years, but the years beyond that.
What does it say to you that all these young guys are signing up? And it's just not that they want to play for the organization, is they want to play with each other. They are it's a very, very, can't say this enough. They're a very, very tight-knit group. They really, really care about each other. We're hearing all the stories about Tyler Soderstrom's wedding in Maui. It really shows just the bond that these guys have. And if Kurtz signs this extension, it just proves that even more, that this core, there's something really special about it.
Well, you hope, and I'm not sure, maybe a little stretch to compare this group to the group that came up in the early 2000s with the A's, Tony, because everybody talked about that group with Giambi and Chavez and Miguel Tejada, and then the big three and the rest of those guys, that they were very close. And you saw it when you went into the clubhouse, and I think it's really important. So this group has a chance to do something special for.
Yeah, and what we talked about with that group is none of them got signed. That's the difference. This group's getting signed. This group is going to be together, and they're signing to be together. It's really refreshing.
It is, and you can tell. I mean, you mentioned the weddings with Soderstrom and Jacob, and they all went to the two weddings, or a lot of those guys went to the weddings this year. So, and I think that chemistry is important. I think to some people, maybe chemistry is overrated. I'm not one of those people. I think it's really important.
Yeah, isn't it crazy? It's like chemistry matters everywhere. It matters all through your life. It matters with your relationships, with your significant other, with your children, with your peers at work. The fact that people tried to bring that into our game, and partially that's our own buddy Billy Bean did that. It's like, it's crazy because how you interact with other human beings is a big part of how your life is going to go.
Especially in baseball, right, Townie? I mean, this is, you live and breathe this for 7.5 months, including spring training. Not like other sports where you might be able to get away a little bit. And I think especially when you look, you want to be able to lean on your teammates too, Townie. And if you look at the start of the season for the A's, going to Toronto and then going to Atlanta, then coming home for just 3 games, then going back to New York to play the Yankees and the Mets, that's where you really want to lean on your teammates. And I think we're going to see a lot of that in those first 15 games this year.
Yeah, one of the big things I've written down this year, Ken, is May 31st. That's the end of the first 2 months of the season. You're finishing up with the New York Yankees. I'm real curious to see what the record is going to be like for the Athletics on May 31st. Those first 2 months, tough schedule. We know what's happened the last couple of years to start the season. How they start is going to tell us a whole lot about 2026.
You don't have to be 15 games over 500 at that point, at the end of May, Townie. But you can't be buried either. So we've seen this before, where if you just hang around 500 until the All-Star break and the trading deadline, you can get better and really contend for a wild card. So you kind of shoot yourself out of it in the first 2 months. But I think as long as you can hang in there, and especially over those first 15 games, then you're going to be okay.
All right, Ken Korach, spring training. What have you enjoyed so far?
Well, it's just, this is not reality, Townie. As you know, because you were down here, we had a great lunch the day that you and the commander flew back to the Bay Area. So kind of the social aspect of it is a lot of fun. It's been warming up. It's only been 4 games. So it's hard to pass judgment to make anything of what's happened so far. But in terms of the ball club, I want to see the young players play. That's the biggest thing for me, because we've, like Leo DeVries, none of us have seen him play unless you were watching him in the minor leagues last year in A-ball or AA. Or like Jamie Arnold, he's going to pitch on Friday, I think, out of the bullpen. And based on the way that he looked and the reaction from the hitters when he threw kind of a simulated batting practice the other day out here, Kotsay talked about him today the same way that they talked about Kurtz last year, that maybe he could have kind of a meteoric rise through the minor leagues and not spend a whole lot of time in the minors. Kotz was pretty candid about that. So being able to see the young players this time of year is the most meaningful thing for me.
Yeah, it's going to be really fascinating to watch Arnold, because we talked to him. He's got a lot of confidence. It is just different the way baseball works. Back in the day, you got drafted in June. Hopefully you would sign. They would send you out. You get some minor league innings. But now baseball wants to highlight the draft like the other sports. So we have it during the All-Star break. So by the time you sign, it's been so long since you've either pitched in high school or pitched in college. They're not going to get you going again and risk injury. So he hasn't played. It's unreal. But once he starts to play, these kids out of these big colleges, as you mentioned, Kurtz, when it comes to the data, when it comes to technology, when it comes to biomechanics and how they know themselves, they're not these kids are just learning. They're ready to show up and start competing. So how great would that be? We saw Jacob Wilson fly through. We saw Nick Kurtz. To watch Arnold, if he shows up in Sacramento in 2026, how much fun would that be?
And Gage Jump, too, kid from LSU. And you're right about coming out of a big college program. Yeah, I think he's got a shot to pitch in the big leagues this year. Look at the A's aren't afraid to get their guys up to the big leagues in a hurry if they can dominate in the minor leagues. And look at Hudson, Mulder, and Zito. All 3 of those guys pitched for big college programs. Neither one of them spent a lot of time in the minors. So it could be a similar path for not only Arnold, but maybe a guy like Gage Jump. And I think that that's going to be really big because the A's are going to have to pitch. We believe that they're going to hit, Townie. They're going to have to pitch. Another guy I think to really keep an eye on would be Morales, because I think that he has a chance not to be a fourth or fifth starter, but maybe a top of the rotation type of guy. I was really impressed with the way that he pitched last year for the club.
I was thinking about you last night, knowing that we were going to have you on today, is that I was at Cal SMU. You know, SMU is that power in college basketball. You know, we're going to be
that was a big game for Cal.
Huge, right? I mean, they still have a chance to make the tournament, finish strong, ACC run in the tournament. But when I'm thinking about you and your career, not this weekend, but the weekend after, it's big league weekend, we're going to be in Vegas. What is it like for you to go back? Because if people don't know, you had not only a great run with my San Jose State Spartans, but the great run that you had with UNLV Athletics as the voice of the Rebels. This time of the year makes you think about college basketball and tournaments and everything. What's it like for you to go back and broadcast in Vegas?
Well, I'll reflect back on 1993 and in doing the game today with Chris Carey. And Chris has heard me talk about this 1,000 times. I have this great photo of Chris's great-grandfather, Harry, with my wife, Denise, and our daughter, Emily, who was 1 year old, when in 1993, over Big League Weekend, I was working for the White Sox at that time. My job was to work weekends. I did like 25 games, including spring training, but I had that assignment. The Cubs played the White Sox at Cashman Field in Las Vegas. March of 93, and they had the biggest crowd ever to see a professional baseball game or any baseball game in Las Vegas for that afternoon. So they've had some really special big league weekend occasions over the years there. So it's going to be really fun. And then obviously we're going back and playing 6 games there during the regular season. But this time of year for me, I was running around because when I was doing Rebel basketball, because you're talking about conference tournaments and then the NC2A or the NIT. And that was a crazy time because you're trying to balance everything. And eventually I kind of thought, you know what, I'm just going to focus on baseball.
Well, I'll tell you what, I remember growing up, WGN would have Harry Carey, and all he would say is he's a Bud man and a Cub fan. How many Budweisers did you throw back with Harry Carey?
Well, he used to work in this very ballpark here at Hometown, and the Cubs trained here too, right? So, I don't think too many people ever could keep up with the mayor of Rush Street, which is what they called Harry.
You know, people will talk about, very few, and we've talked about this with Bill King, but it doesn't matter what level. Very few people are good at the big three. And when you talk about the big three, it's baseball, football, and basketball. Obviously, you've done it all. But people talk about when you do college basketball, those big games, and it's the tournament, you did NCAA tournament, when you're on the floor and it's a big game, because you don't do that in baseball, you don't do that in football. What is it like? Just tell our viewers, a big college basketball game, you're on the court, the action's right in front of you, there's nothing like it.
There's nothing like it. I think the adrenaline rush that you get when there are 18,000 people going crazy in a game that comes right down to the wire. And we weren't sure that I just did 2 NC2A tournament games for UNLV, and they lost them both. But both times they had to win the conference tournament to get in, because we weren't sure. You don't want to leave it in the hands of the committee. And each time they had to win the conference championship game at the Thomas and Mack to advance. And so the intensity is just awesome. The intensity in the building, as you know, Townie, we live for those peak moments where the adrenaline is, you just feel the adrenaline rush. But it's not unlike the postseason in baseball, too. I mean, you think of those. I was thinking about Max Scherzer today because of the reports that he's going back to Toronto. And when he came out of the bullpen, actually, in Game 4 in Detroit in 2013, and it forced a Game 5 back at the Coliseum, those moments were pretty intense, my friend.
Will you be nervous today?
Working with Chris, or just in general?
the magnitude of Mesa, the magnitude of Hohokam, the magnitude of Game 5 of spring training.
Well, the rest of my day, spending this time with you and the commander, the rest of my day is just going downhill.
Practice makes perfect. I mean, if you do well here, you'll do well in the game.
Listen, the Rangers, you know that old thing where they used to say you have to bring 4 regulars to a spring training game?
That's out the door.
That's blown away by the desert wind many, many years ago. They have Jock Peterson in there.
There's one.
The only thing they have that is kind of fun to talk about, they have a bunch of former athletics in their lineup today. But Jock Peterson is their only regular, and he's coming off batting 180 last year.
So you do know some of the people that will be playing in the game today.
Former A's #1 pick Richie Martin is playing third base.
Wow.
And former athletic Jonah Bride is playing for the Rangers. As is Tyler Wade, who had a little more than a cup of coffee with the A's a few years back, Tony.
Well, maybe you could fill us in. Do we have tribute videos to play today on the big screen?
Yeah. Cal Quantrill from Stanford, one-time Padres #1 pick, is pitching for the Rangers.
All right. Well, you got some stories then.
We've got some stuff we can talk about. Chris didn't sleep last night doing his homework, so it's kind of Chris's broadcast today.
Going to be great. We'll be listening. Have a great call.
Okay, buddy.
The Hall of Famer, Ken Korach, right here on A's Cast Live. Those games are really hard to do for the play-by-play guys. They're really hard to do. Because all of a sudden, I'll never forget, it was right before we shut down for COVID. I was in Arizona, and I wasn't, because starting Monday, I will be doing games with Johnny. I'm not doing the play-by-play. I'm the color guy. I'll be with Johnny and Chris for a few games before we go to Vegas for Big League Weekend. Big shows Saturday and Sunday from Las Vegas. So just let you know, Saturday and Sunday, we're back on the air. We're going to have some big-time alumni. We're going to be throwing some bells and whistles at you. But I'll never forget, it was right before we shut down for COVID. And I'm down the left field line. Great food trucks at Hohokam Park. I was down. I went and got food at the food truck. And I went up, and I'm just standing on the rail, and we're playing the Dodgers. And I looked out, and on the base pass, swear to God, for the Dodgers, they have bases loaded against us. There was 2 number 88s and an 89. And I remember going, who are these guys? That would have been 2019.
The
2 88s.
2020. Where you said
2020.
Yeah.
2 88s. So 2 guys were wearing the number 88. I wish to go back and look like whatever happened to those guys.
Well, Korach mentioned Richie Martin, who's playing third base for the Rangers today. Take a guess what year Richie Martin was drafted in the first round by the Athletics.
2013?
15.
All right.
So 11 years ago, Richie Martin out of
ago.
Florida, 31 years old, now playing.
I remember doing once again, we always do the interviews with the first round pick every single year. I remember doing the interview with him, and boy, things went sideways in Chicago. How old is he now?
Richie Martin is 31. 31 out of Florida. He has 7 career homers. I think majority of them came when he played with the Orioles. He played 3 major league seasons with the Orioles. I think the most games he ever played in. He played 120 games in 2019. That was a bad Orioles team.
Scratch that. I was thinking of somebody else.
You're thinking of the shortstop
Yes.
The other shortstop.
The other shortstop. Yeah.
Things went down.
My apologies to Richie, but we did do the interviews with Richie. Yeah. And he went to Baltimore.
You didn't bring it up with Korach, and I asked you before we play Colby Thomas and the show. This is a must-win game, right?
Oh, no doubt.
I mean,
from here on out, everything's a must-win.
You can't go 0-5 and start spring training.
No, panic. Get the panic button back out.
I looked at the last few games, and I saw a run differential, and I'm a big run differential guy. Not fun difference like the Mariners. I care about run differential. It's not looking great, so we got to get back on track.
When you lose in spring training, if it's like 9-7, 10-0, like, come on, boys, we gotta show a little spark here. We gotta score some runs, run the bases well, play some defense. Hey, you know what they say back in the day with the Chicago Bulls? It didn't matter what day of the week it was, what time of the day it was, when practice was. That guy MJ never took a day off. Never. Ron, I recently saw this thing with Ron Harper. He goes, you show up. I couldn't believe it. He was like, a regular, like 8 a.m. shoot around practice was like game day because that's how that dude rolled. Hey, there's something about getting ready.
That's why he's one of the greatest basketball players of.
That's why something about getting ready. You got to get ready for the action. You got to get ready. You got to be ready for the fight. But yeah, it's just 4 spring training games. But let's start seeing some offense. Let's start see some good things happen and want to see that. All right, where are we going here?
We'll end the show with Colby Thomas.
Colby Thomas. Love me some Colby Thomas. Good guy, and hopefully he's going to play a role in 2026. Can do a lot of different things. Athletic power. Here is the Athletics Outfielder. Colby Thomas joins us here on A's Cast. By the way, in the all-white right out of the gate, looking smooth.
That's right. Yes, sir.
How do you feel putting that on this early?
It is a little early. When I put it on this morning, though, I felt like I'm ready. I'm ready to be back. I mean, we're back. We're here. We got the all whites on early in the morning. We're ready to go.
Now, I knowing you and knowing how working out goes, I mean, this whole off season you've been grinding. What has it been like? What have you been working on?
Done some swing changes. We've gone a little higher. We're looking to hit the breaking ball a little better this year. I mean, we've worked on. We've put the hay in the barn. We're ready to go. So,
what is that like? Because when you make changes, it can be a little scary, right? Mm-hmm. Things are different. There's got to be a lot of trust. You got to trust in what you're working on, that it is going to work. Tell us about the changes and what it was like.
Yeah, I feel like if you make changes, you just got to be confident in what you do. Because if you know, especially at this level, if you know and you're confident in what you've got, you'll be able to really hit any which way. It's just getting confident in those changes that you made. So.
How important was it to get up, and we talked to Denzel Clark about this, just to get up and experience it, to know what it's like?
Yeah, that was huge. The game, it's the same game, but it's a little faster. Pitches are a little bit better, and you've got to be able to adjust, and you've got to be able to play at that speed, and it's every day. There's no breaks. It's every day.
Yeah, it's hard to really explain it to people, but you can sit in the minor leagues and you can do well in the minor leagues until you've seen it. Now that you've seen it, now you really know the adjustments you need to make versus when you need to make adjustments in the minor leagues, you didn't know what it meant to be in the big leagues. Yep. How different with the mindset adjustments, the physical adjustments, now that you've tasted it, you know what you need to do to last here.
Yeah, it's a completely the pitchers are a lot better in the big leagues. Let's put it how it is. I mean, the minor leagues, anybody can be successful in the minor leagues. The big leagues is a completely different, it's a completely different ballpark. Everybody's just a little bit better. And so just because you hit well in the minor leagues, you still got to prove yourself in the big leagues, and that's what I'm working on.
When you looked at this offseason, what was the best part reflecting on what had happened to you last season?
Man, just being able to go and learn and learn from the players we have, learn from watching the other players. I mean, you can learn something every day if you pay attention.
And then what'd you work on defensively?
We worked on speed, we worked on agility, throwing, everything defensively. Sometimes as an outfielder, defense gets pushed to the back, but not really what we worked on. We worked on everything and did it evenly.
Now, what point do you go, I'm tired of working out, I'm ready to start playing?
Usually right after Christmas. Once after Christmas and New Year's happens.
So you start hitting it pretty early after the season.
Oh yeah, maybe a week or two off, and then we get back to it. Because once you get past Christmas and New Year's, it's kind of like a countdown. You're like, all right, let's just get going. Like at this point, I'm ready to go.
It's so interesting how years ago, guys who would come to spring training to get in shape, you're ready to rock right now.
Yes, for sure. I remember this is my 4th spring training. And I've learned from those spring trainings. The first year, my arm was a little sore from all the throwing, so I've worked on my throwing a little more. I've built up a little more throwing. Another thing, the first year I had a bad callus on my hand because I guess I didn't swing enough. And, now I know, once you get here, it's time to go. It's not, this isn't time to play around, this is time to go.
Put that hand up to the camera, show the calluses. This man's been hitting in the off season. He is ready to rock. Being versatile, being able to play all three. Yep. It's always a key when you think about yourself, where you're going to fit in on this team. How important is it to have that mindset, no matter where you want to put me in the outfield, I can make it happen?
Yeah, kind of don't give them a reason not to have you out there. You know, I can play center, I can play left, I can play right. You know, wherever you need me to play. I played infield in my past days. Might need a little practice there, but we could do it. You know, don't give them a reason not to have you in the game.
Where'd you play in the infield?
Second base. Second base.
What would happen if we put you out at second base right now?
Footwork would probably be a little off, but it might take me a while to get it back.
All right, coolest thing you did this off season, not baseball.
Oh, man, I do a lot of hunting. I enjoy hunting, fishing. Me and my dad, and here you go, yeah. Munch came down for a week, and we took him fishing at the beach. He caught his first fish, so that was a...
Munch had never caught a fish before?
No, that's what I said. But we tried to get him a fish last year. Didn't have any luck in Sac, but we had some luck down in Seaside, Florida. So.
All right, so you actually had a little cold weather.
Yes.
A little different.
Yes.
Like, basically, Florida doesn't get cold weather, but they had that crazy cold storm that came through. I remember, like, we were in Orlando for the winter meetings, and it was like, 75 degrees, and all of a sudden Orlando was like in the 20s. So what was like experiencing cold weather in Florida for the first time?
I mean, we're right on the border of Florida and Georgia. We're only 20 minutes from there, but it got cold, and I like to hunt, and so getting cold after deer season, it was a little frustrating, but we survived, and it's really fun because it doesn't get cold like that. So when it does, everybody's excited. They want to get the fireplace going. They want to get the fire going outside, and so we enjoy it because it doesn't happen that much. You might get 1 week like that a year, and so we get excited for it.
I remember the first time that we interviewed you, spring training. It was at the Aviators facility, and just talk about how excited you were for the opportunity. A lot has changed now. Now there are expectations for you to be here and be a major contributor in 2026. When I tell you that, how does it make you feel?
It makes me feel good, man. I want to be a part of this team. I want to be a contributor to this team, and having that opportunity is awesome. It's a good feeling, I'm just ready to go. I'm ready to play.
All right, good luck this spring, and next time we'll talk to you, we'll be back in Sacramento.
Thank you.
All righty, that's going to do it for A's Cast Live. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. with another great show for you. Get you ready for A's baseball. Up next, Ken Korach, Chris Carey, A's baseball, A's and Rangers next.
28 season tickets at the A's ballpark in Las Vegas for just $19.01. The amount honors the founding year of the Athletics franchise in 1901. By joining the priority list, you'll get an early opportunity to grab season tickets before they go on sale to the public, while also supporting youth baseball and softball programs across Southern Nevada. To secure your spot, visit athletics.com/Vegas.
This has been a presentation